Yo, indie music freaks. That's right, it's JoeJoeKeys. Welcome back to the Indie Music Plus podcast. Yep, you heard it right. It's the Indie Music Plus podcast now, not Indie Music Live. But I am at episode 251, so thanks for sticking with me. You might be wondering, Plus podcast, what happened to the live thing? Well, my friends David Werba and Rob Hicks have moved on, and I'm not doing live streams anymore. Of course, I wish them all the best in everything they're doing, and I know Indie Music Plus wasn't their main project anyway. But it's just you and me now, kids, back to the basics, and I'm pretty excited about it because it means that I can take the show in different directions that I wasn't able to before, and make the indie music that I love and you love the focus once again of the show. So let me get to the fun stuff. Today I've got a killer lineup, and I'm ready to share it with you. First up is Brandon Bing. He's got a gritty new tune called Rat Race. I also have Robert Watson with his instrumental track, The Matriarch of the Family. John Michael Ferrari with Music with You. Shado by Samsara in New York City. And then Dee and D'z with their new track, E.N.E.R.G.Y. And also the featured artist of the episode, Vassillis. I'll be listening to his song, Are You Ready to Move On? And also talking with the artist. So there you have it. That's the lineup for the show. Let's dive in and get this indie music party started, kids. Crank up the volume and let's go.
Living his life like a rat race. Don't know what road to take. One wrong turn at the blink of an eye changed his fate. Dirty blonde and some crystal blues, hands bound in bright blue, horn honking swerving down a two-lane, lost control, lipstick smeared on his face. His brain starts shifting to a different state. Living his life like a rat race. Don't know what road to take. One wrong turn at the blink of an eye changed his fate. He feels the car roll off the paved road into a tree.
So here are some thoughts on the song Rat Race by Brandon Bing, which you can find on indiemusicplus.com. In Rat Race, Brandon has crossed the boundary of country music into the rock realm and even slightly over into the pop arena. To me, the overall sound of the song sounds more pop rock with some country flavor. This lines up exactly with what Brandon told me when I interviewed him as a featured artist a while back. He is a country artist, but he is also a songwriter without genre limitations. Rat Race is a great example of this, as it is a mix of country, rock, and pop. Rat Race also has a huge country sound though, don't get me wrong, it's definitely still a country song. However, there are some elements in the single that are somewhat new to Brandon's sound. For example, his vocal delivery and the choruses are more pop than country. Also, there are some guitar rock moments that almost sound similar to a hard rock sound. So, there's something for fans of country, pop, and rock in this single. Overall though, Rat Race was written to connect with many people who for some reason or another have had to deal with directly or know someone who suffers from addiction. So make sure you check out Rat Race by Brandon Bing and let him know Indie Music Plus sent you. Next up is Dee and D'z with their song E.N.E.R.G.Y, E.N.E.R.G.Y.
Like a a tiger inside a cage, waiting for release. Sentence to your ruling, suppressing my compulsion. Fed up with your reign, feels like creatures crawling under my skin. It's eating me alive. You can try to pull me away, but you will never ever break me down. Running in circles, squashing my capacity. This sizzling, burning, blistering, crackling fire, burning inside of me. Energy is part of me. Energy, E.N.E.R.G. You promised to save me from this dangling scourge. Give me back my head.
So here's some of my thoughts on E.N.E.R.GY by Dee and D'z, which you can find on indiemusicplus.com. Dee is back with another single, and this time he's partnered with a friend, Dee. Recently, Dee and D'z have begun to create music together, and they have presented me with their new single for review, E.N.E.R.G.Y. I've reviewed D'z's music in the past. He's also been a featured artist on indiemusicplus.com. He's renowned for crafting the perfect blend of funk, jazz, and soul in his music. However, his new collaborative single with Dee takes the cake for me. E.N.E.R.GY may be a little hard to type on a keyboard, but it's a joy for the ears and a fun song to groove to. Let me dig a little deeper. As per usual, D'z's recording and performance are stellar. He's a highly accomplished musician who has been in the industry for a significant time. Although he's primarily a drummer, D'z also excels at composing and playing other instruments. He's collaborated with numerous artists over the years, including Katie Leon and Sandra St. Victor. I am loving the new single. As a keyboard player myself, I find the piano parts utterly captivating. Not only does the piano itself sound phenomenal, but the pianist also demonstrates a fantastic understanding of the accompaniment. The sections he's laying down are epic. The horn section also holds it down, while D'z is behind the drums. Both in the video and the recording, the bass sounds excellent. The vocalist Dee also delivers a dynamic performance. So there you go. Check out the new single, E.N.E.R.GY, E.N.E.R.G.Y, by Dee and D'z. And check out the review on indiemusicplus.com and let them know you heard it there first. Indie Music Live, episode 251. As always, I'm JoeJoeKeys, and we're talking to the featured artist of this episode, Vassillis. You know, and Vassillis, I never asked you, is that your first name, or is your artist name, or how does that work?
That is my actual first name, yeah. It's my artist name, but that's my actual name as well, yeah.
Yeah, very cool, yeah. So that's kind of like, my name is Joe, but I go by JoeJoeKeys, so that was
cool.
So we've reviewed your music on the website in the past, and you had a new song out recently, and so we're gonna so I have you on the show. You're the featured artist of the week, and you have a new single out. We're gonna be checking that out, and then we'll come back and get a little deeper with you and get to know you a little bit. So why don't you if you could give me your brief introduction of who you are and what you're doing and your new single. We'll check it out, and then we'll come back.
Cool. My name is Vassillis. It's a Greek name, by the way. That's where I'm originally from. I'm based in Manchester, England, at the minute, and for the last 10 years or so. Like I said, it's been a couple of months now since my latest single was released. It's called Are You Ready to Move On?
Of your life, the hidden meanings, so
So this is like one of the first times or the first times you've branched out on your own from being in bands and stuff like that. Is that?
Yeah. I've been in bands, mainly cover bands,
Yeah.
or function bands and stuff. And but whenever I would bring up the topic of like, should we move on? Should we try to do our own music? People wouldn't be up for it, and it was more like a hobby to most of them. And I don't really blame them for that. It's what it is. I always wanted to go a bit further with music, and that was one of the reasons I moved to the UK. So things like, I don't have a live band at the minute, so every show I do is solo. I've done when I released the EP, I put a band together and we did a few shows to promote it, but that was it. Yeah.
That's kind of the thing of being an independent solo artist or individual artist is, the bands kind of come and go.
What are you doing? Oh, we've got a visitor. We got an intruder here. He's just Freddie.
Nice.
You say hi.
He can stay if you want, or she, or whatever.
Yeah,
it may be like, I don't know if it's the fact that you're in the UK or in Europe, and I'm from over here in the States or whatever. But I was listening to like one of your other songs today, or maybe it was the new one, but it was very the guitar sounds and stuff and the ethereal sounds were very U2 to me in a lot of ways. I don't know if that would be offensive to you or an honor.
No, not at all. Not at all. I'm a big fan, actually.
Yeah, good. So that makes sense then, right?
Definitely, yeah, influenced by them, yeah.
Yeah, what would be some of the other influences, because that's always the go-to question for interviews of artists?
Well, I love a lot of the American sound of the 90s. I was very much into REM, very much into the Seattle scene, like Pearl Jam and Soundgarden, and obviously Smashing Pumpkins, one of my favorite artists, or bands, should I say. And then all that alternative sound from back in the day, Radiohead, massive influence for me.
Yeah.
So yeah, cool. Guitar based mainly.
Yeah.
Stuff, but that keeps changing. I have every time I listen to something new that I like, that becomes my next favorite thing and my next influence, if you like.
Yeah, and these days it's easy to add to your sound with all the electronic ways of doing music.
Yeah.
Something you like I like that way that drum sounds, or I like that keyboard sounds. Like, I can emulate it right here on my DAW or DAW.
Yeah.
So cool. So so now that the pandemic is kind of over, I guess we could say.
Yeah.
Most people are like, I don't know about that, but it's over. It's gonna be, COVID's gonna be here pretty much forever anymore. But so now that everybody's back to somewhat normal, getting out in the world and stuff like that, are you planning on doing more Vassillis gigs, or what are you playing with another cover band, function band? What are you gonna be doing?
I hope so. I'm busy gigging with a tribute band. I don't know if that's a big thing over there.
Oh yeah,
it is huge in the UK. Tribute bands.
Yeah. So
I'm playing an REM tribute band. So
okay, sweet.
That keeps me busy in the weekends. So obviously my solo stuff is a bit on the side at the minute.
Sure.
I keep whenever I have the time and and I feel up for it, I will record something new, and I will release it. But like I said, I don't have a live band, so it's mainly acoustic shows that I do. I'm thinking of, I don't know. I mean, I don't have an actual strategy. I'm thinking of doing some online, maybe some like streaming gigs and stuff like that.
Sure. Yeah.
But yeah,
What?
maybe I'll save it. I'll save it for when I release like another EP or an album. Maybe when I've got more material. I've got obviously loads of songs that I've not released that I play live when I do my gigs. But yeah, it's all looking good. I'm not pushing for anything, but
Well, as they say, it only takes one song, right?
yeah, that's true. That's true. But there's millions of songs, being released today.
Right. Nowadays,
it's like you're a drop in the ocean. So I'm not,
totally.
I don't feel like I'm gonna be the next big thing or anything. But
just a side note, I watched something on YouTube. Like, there's a channel I watch about rock and roll stories or history, something like that, and the Rembrandts, the Friends theme song. One of the guys, he's like, I'm making about enough money to put my kids through college on that song. That's about it. It's like, that's kind of a lot of money, but kind of not when you think about, like, that kind of song, like how much it got played and all that stuff. So anyway, maybe you need more than one song these days. I don't know.
yeah, I don't know what it is you need, but
So if people like your music and they want to support you, where can they find you on the internets? Or give out your personal address if you want. I don't care.
Well, I've got my YouTube channel, I've got my Spotify channel, and then platforms like SoundCloud or Bandcamp, all those platforms.
And so that would be at Vassillis Music.
So my YouTube channel is Vassillis Music, yes. But for Spotify and the rest of the platforms where the music is released, people can find me as Vassillis.
Yeah, okay.
Just like that, like in the style of Vangelis, maybe, the composer. So yeah, just Vassillis. Yeah.
Perfect. Sweet, man.
Obviously, I've got my socials as well. My Instagram and Facebook, etc.
Perfect. Awesome. Well, thanks for hanging out with me, man. I know it's a Tuesday night for you over there. It's Tuesday afternoon for me.
Yeah.
And any final words you want to say to anybody before I let you go?
No, keep rocking, keep listening to good music. And if you like what you hear from me, check me out. Maybe find out about my other releases and stay tuned for more songs to come.
Next up is John Michael Ferrari with his new single Music With You on Indie Music Plus Podcast, episode 251.
I strum my guitar across the strings. You've come tonight to hear me sing. You might have heard my song on the radio. I was pleased to hear them play it too, about a girl I once knew, the brightest light from the nearest star. Well, driving my car, I've come to music with you. Share the light, harmony with me tonight. Hear applause, feel the glow. Sing along, enjoy the show. It's a dream come true.
It's a dream come true.
I've come to music with you. I love the nights we treasure in. We open our hearts and love comes in. A stranger is kind. Don't it blow your mind? Oh, the promises we never make, all the ones our heart most like to take. The brightest light from the nearest star. That's what you are. I've come to music with you. Share the light, harmony with me
So here are some of my thoughts on the new single by John Michael Ferrari, Music With You, which was released on April 26, 2023. I've got to say, as always, John's voice is phenomenal. He has a unique way of singing that's entirely his own, and when you listen to him, it feels like you're being serenaded by the smoothest voice ever. I'm sure you'll be singing along with me in no time. Moving on to the song itself. It's a delightful, smooth rock gem that makes you fondly remember the past while still attracting young listeners. It possesses that timeless, smooth rock essence that we all cherish, but with a contemporary spin that leaves you wanting more. What really got me hooked on Music With You, though, are the lyrics. John penned some fantastic lines such as, "I've come to music with you, share the light, harmony with me tonight, hear applause, feel the glow, sing along, enjoy the show. It's a dream come true, I've come to music with you." These words paint a picture of being at a concert, surrounded by friends, and just soaking in the magic of live music. You can check out the rest of my thoughts on John Michael Ferrari's song Music With You on Indie Music Plus. Make sure you check out the song on all the live streaming services that you get your music from, and let John Michael Ferrari know that you heard his single Music With You here first on Indie Music Plus Podcast, episode 251. Next up is Samsara Band from New York City with their single Shado. So here are some of my thoughts on Shado by Samsara out of New York City. First off, let's talk about the production quality. It's clear that the folks behind the scenes knew exactly what they were doing. The mix is clean, crisp, and balanced, allowing each instrument to shine without overpowering the other. It's kind of like a well-cooked meal where you can taste every ingredient and they all work together to create something truly delicious. Now on to the band. These guys are tight, and I mean really tight. It's like they share a brain or something. The way they move through the song, each note perfectly in sync, it's a testament to their skill and chemistry. It's not just about playing the right notes at the right time, it's about creating a unified sound that's more than the sum of its parts, and Samsara nails it. I gotta say, Shado is the kind of song that gets your blood pumping. It's got a beat that makes you want to move and melody that sticks in your head. But what really makes it stand out is how Samsara isn't afraid to slow things down. They've got a few of these moments in the song where everything just quiets down, and it's like you're in the middle of a peaceful moment amidst the chaos. It's a refreshing change of pace, and it adds a whole new dimension to the song. So make sure you check out Samsara's song Shado, and make sure you let them know that you heard it here first on Indie Music Plus Podcast, episode 251. And visit indiemusicplus.com to check out the rest of my thoughts on Shado by Samsara. Up next, Robert Watson with his new single, The Matriarch of the Family. And here are some of my thoughts on the song The Matriarch of the Family by Robert Watson. Robert Watson is an indie instrumentalist who has been making music for quite a few years. He works by himself, writing all the music and playing all the instruments. I have had chances to review many of Robert's songs over the past couple of years, and I've grown to thoroughly enjoy his music. In The Matriarch of the Family, Robert creates grooves that are fun to listen to overall. One aspect of Robert's playing and music style that I enjoy is the vintage flavoring. The Matriarch of the Family is no different. I always get the feeling that any of his songs could easily fit into a 1970s Afro music soundtrack for a movie. His music always has that type of feel and style. On the flip side, though, some of his playing can seem a little bit rigid. Maybe the rigidness comes from the fact that he plays so many instruments, and some of the instruments that he's recording may not be his best or forte instruments. However, he does end up with some great tunes. The Matriarch of the Family definitely continues Robert's tradition of making classic-sounding funk-style tunes. I really enjoy the keyboards and the chord progressions. Robert is great at using interesting chord progressions to keep the listener engaged. Since there are never any vocals in Robert's tunes, this tactic is essential. Instrumental music can become boring to the average listener, but Robert is doing a great job at keeping it attractive with variety. So go ahead and check out The Matriarch of the Family by Robert Watson, and let him know you heard it here first on Indie Music Plus Podcast, episode 251, and also on indiemusicplus.com. So there you go. This has been Indie Music Plus Podcast, episode 251. If you'd like to submit your music for review or a chance to be a featured artist on the show, please visit indiemusicplus.com, check out our submissions page, or the featured artist submission or review submission in the shop. Thanks as always for listening, and as always, I've been your host, Mr. JoeJoeKeys. This has been Indie Music Plus Podcast, episode 251, and I'll catch you on 252.